Hello everyone, this is Girish, and in this video we are going to be solving one more CKAD exam practice question. In this video we will be creating a job and check the job status. So let's take a look at the question. This kind of questions appear in CKAD exams and they can take up to 3 to 4% of exam weight, which is a very easy question and you can score good marks. So let's take a look at this. So assuming you work for a video processing company and your on-demand video processing team needs a job template located at this. So this is something that we want to create. This job should run image busybox. It's just made up image and execute sleep2 and echo this command, which is basically this particular job is run to, for example, create multiple video formats from a main file or break it into chunks, etc. And then it just echoes done. It should be in the namespace video on demand. As I mentioned in my previous video that this namespace may or may not exist on the exam Kubernetes cluster. So make sure to create it if it's not there. This job should run for a total of 5 times and should execute 2 runs in parallel. That's a lot of details. And part 2 is start the job and check its history. Each part created by the job should have the label this. That means when we create this job, we have to specify this particular label ID in the template so that the parts get this label. The job should be named video on demand job and the container video on demand job container. All right, that's a lot of text, but I think it's not that difficult. We will be tackling it in my local cluster. So let's start. Okay, here I am in my local cluster and terminal, and let's take a look at this. First thing first, as I said, exam is 2 hours long with about 20 questions, so every keystroke matters. So what we are going to do, we're going to create an alias k equals to cube cutoff, so that I can just do k get node instead of writing the whole cube cutoff command many number of times. Okay, let's take a look. I do not have the namespace that they want, so first thing first, I'm going to create this namespace. Okay, create namespace video on demand. That looks good. Okay, I got it. Now, Kubernetes exam is an open book exam, so you can have access to the Kubernetes documentation. So what we are going to do, we are going to go to the documentation page. You should still need to know many things, and especially how to navigate through the documentation. Otherwise, you will spend more time looking around. So you can just search for the say jobs here. And this is how I got there. So you see this, we are talking about jobs and not the cron job. I'll create another video on the cron job, but let's just focus on the jobs. So once you're on the jobs, you can read about it. Obviously you should have already read before the exam, and you can take a sample template from here. And as you said, as you know, I wanted this job to run 5 times and parallelism should be only 2. So we will be using some of these guys here. So let's do this. We will use some imperative commands to create a initial YAML file, and then we'll inject what else do we need to do in that YAML file. So let's start. Your on-demand video processing needs a job template located at this. So this is the name of the file that we'll be creating. The job should run the image busybox this. Okay, let's do this. So I'm going to do run a command. Let's say my command would actually be k. Okay, first of all, so let's create this job or a template file. Let's do k create. So let's say k minus n, and I want to create it in the video on demand namespace. So let's do this. Create job. And what's the job name? Does it ask for the job name? Let's see. Yeah, job should be named as video on demand job. So let's do this. create job this using image busybox 135.0. okay. All right, then what we can do is we can do a dry run. Instead of creating it, we can just use dry run equal to client or output format YAML, and we'll store it in this file. And the file name is vod-job.yaml. Okay, what else does it want us to do? It wants us to run a particular command, which is sleep to echo this. Let's copy this from here. And what we can do is we can just run this as a argument to the container, and then this is -c or -c, and then the whole thing can be written like this. Now I want to just change this to this, as well as just to escape, because we are putting double quotes inside a double quotes. That's why I'm just escaping these double quotes, which are part of the string. All right, so what we are doing here, we are in the namespace video on demand. We are creating a job. The job name is video on demand job using this image, and we are not going to actually create the job. We're just going to create the YAML file. That's why I'm doing a dry run, and output format is YAML, saving it to a vod-job.yaml. And this is the way to pass the arguments to the container so that we don't have to type it. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, my file should be created, so it's going to be vod-job.yaml. Looks good. So now let's go back to the documentation and see what we need for the completion and the parallelism. So it says it should run for a total of 5 times and execute 2 runs in parallel. Okay. To do that, we have to copy these 2 guys and modify them. So completion means run it 10 times here, parallelism running 3 pods at a time, not more than that. So let's do that. Escape insert. I'll be putting it here. All right, let's see. Let's fix the syntax here. So completion is, I'm going to increase the font size a little bit so that you can see it better, but let's see. Okay, so completion is 5, parallelism is 2. What else do we want? Okay, we need to put the label ID for the VOD job, ID of VOD job to the pod. So the pod is right here. So what we can do here is in the metadata section, we will put labels, and the label is ID, and we can verify all these things. ID as VOD job. Let's copy this. Okay, my pod got the label. My container's name should be video on demand job container. Okay, so let's copy this also. So this will be my container name. Okay, so we have namespace correct, video on demand job name is correct, 5 completions, 2 parallelisms, label got it, container has these commands, sleep for 2 seconds, and then echo video processing done, image is this, name of the container is this, and I think we should be good to go. Let's save this file, escape:/wq, let's run this file and see what happens. kapply -f vod-job.yaml. Okay, k-n video on demand. Let's take a look at the pod and the job. Okay, as you see, 2 of the jobs have already been completed, 2 are running, which shows that our parallelism is working. 2 at a time they are running. Let's do it again. And you see, and we notice that 2 of the jobs finished at 26 seconds ago, 2 21 seconds ago, and 1 16 seconds ago. And if I keep refreshing, I don't see any more jobs because we only ask it to run for 5 times. This is great. Now what we can do is we can also check the status of the actual job that ran. So to do that, we can do describe job and the history. Describe job can show us the history of the actual job. Let me just make it a little bit go here so that we can see. All right, so what I can do, K-n video on demand. I say describe job and my job name was this. If you see this section towards the end, it shows that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successful creation of the job, and it ran 2 jobs in parallel. So it created these 2 pods, then it created these 2 pods, and then it ran 1 more pod. So it shows that our job was run 5 times, and it had 2 times parallelism of 2, which is running 2 pods at a time. Okay, I think we have achieved everything that we wanted to do. Our container name is good. Our labels, let's see the labels. So pod has this label, and what I can say that we have successfully completed this assignment. So this is how you create job. And obviously this is an open book test, so you can see if there are something that I missed, for example, back off limit per index or those kind of stuff, you can always refer to the documentation. But it would be good to have this practice so that you can create the initial YAML file and then only modify what is needed. Otherwise you'll waste a lot of time creating those YAML files by hand or copying pasting from here. Okay, so I think that's all I had for this demo, and I'll be creating more CKAD and CKA exam videos. So please like, share, and subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.